Decide the fate of mankind. Go on a psychedelic trip guiding orbs of light through iridescent mazes. Fly a drone in your living room. Save potatoes from certain death. Face real-life enemies with laser guns, magic, monsters, or a pool cue. Test your spatial reasoning with zen-inducing puzzles, or platform your way through a fantastical land built with mixed reality in mind. You can do all of this plus much more right now on the Quest 3, Quest 2, and Quest Pro. I have played a ton of mixed reality games to bring you this list of the best with the footage to show you what these games are really like firsthand. Welcome to Gameless Plus. I'm Josh, and here are 10 must-try MetaQuest 3 mixed reality games. If you're looking for mixed reality experiences, you can check out my 10 must-try mixed reality non-game list as well. I have focused this list specifically on gaming in mixed reality on Quest 3. At the end, I'll talk about some awesome runners-up and a new VR pet from the creators of Pokemon Go. Let's get started. At number 10, Deism. In Deism, you are a god creating your own lands, varying from open fields to vast deserts. This is a really fun sandbox sim game where you build a map where all your little people live. Unlike much more detailed sims, this game has an openness that just makes it feel very light and breezy to play. It's not super challenging, instead you just keep improving and adding to your world, unlocking new miracles along the way. Unless you want to throw down some lightning, make a volcano erupt, give your population disease, or perform miracles. The choices are yours to make, then see how everything plays out. This game was originally only in standard VR, but now with mixed reality you can have your created world completely contained within your living room or shrunk down on a table in front of you. When I sat down to play this, time just started to fly by as I kept wanting to try one more thing after each set of miracles became available. It really is a ton of fun. Deism wasn't originally created for pass-through mixed reality, but it fits right in, and I can't really imagine playing it any other way now. Next on the list at number 9, Kartoffl. Kartoffl means potato in German, and in this game you must save potatoes from falling to their deaths. And although I do love mashed potatoes, these little guys have faces, so like VeggieTales, somehow we have to care. This is a very similar concept to an old game called Lemmings from the early 90s, where you must help these funny little creatures through each of the game's 60 levels by sending them in the right direction in all kinds of creative ways. These silly little spuds seem to think that if they just keep walking, they will be safe, so it's your job to guide them to safety in this almost strangely fun puzzle platformer. This game was originally just a straight VR game like others on this list, but I definitely feel like playing this in mixed reality pass-through in your home makes this much more fun. Many games that previously were only in full VR that now have that mixed reality element really have become an entirely different experience. This definitely is one of the best examples of that. It really is a lot of fun. Next up at number 8, Miracle Pool. I grew up in a small town where we had a beat-up old bowling alley where my friend Andy and I would go bowling, play arcade games, and play lots of pool. This rundown old place is where my dad taught me to play using those little triangles to line up my shots and really helped me get the basics down. I've only gotten the chance to play on occasion throughout the years, other than a nice weekly game I'd play with some friends at a local bar for a while. Miracle Pool brings that great social aspect to your own living room. It's got great physics, online matchmaking, proximity voice chat, and is quite simply very good at being pool. The physics mechanics are excellent, and it gives you the option of playing with a smaller table if you're in a tighter space, or a larger table to feel a little bit more authentic. In any case, you don't have to actually walk around the table, you can rotate it and grab it and put it wherever you like in your space. At the time of making this video, it is still free on the App Lab, but it is definitely not going to stay that way. The paid version is going to be released at some point in the near future, so jump in and play for free while you still have the chance. And honestly, if it's no longer free, it is still worth it. It really is great to just be able to play a friendly game of pool whenever you feel like it, right there in your own home. If you are enjoying this video, this is the perfect time for you to hit that like button. It really does help my channel a lot. And also don't forget to hit subscribe so you can see all my upcoming videos. Next on the list at number 7, Blaston. If you've ever played Nerf guns and dodged incoming fire from the enemy, you know the feeling of dodging a shot you see flying towards you and the satisfaction of avoiding a hit. In Blaston, you take on opponents who stand on a platform directly across from yours. When the round starts, you must grab your weapons and unleash as many accurate shots as you can as you dodge, weave, and chuck your used up weapons at your enemy's incoming fire. Blaston is an extremely high-energy, one-on-one gun battler that makes you feel a little bit like Neo from The Matrix, while giving you a real workout in the process. The fact that this game is 100% free really makes it a must-try all around. This is really an underrated game that's been out for a while. Now that it's available in pass-through and it's 100% free, it's just a no-brainer. You have to try this one. I just suggest you do some stretching before and after you play, because you will get sore. At number 6, Bomber Drone VR. Bomber Drone VR is an awesome true-to-life feeling drone simulator where you must use guns and bombs to destroy enemy turrets and save the scientist on each level. When I bought my first drone, it was just this $20 cheapo one that I got on Amazon. It was no camera or anything like that. It was just this first attempt at flying a drone. I managed to get it flying around in the house a little bit, but I wanted a little bit more space, so I stepped into my backyard to try it out a little bit more. Within 30 seconds of trying it for the first time, I had it a little bit too high, and a breeze came along, I overcorrected, and then it just drifted off into the sky, and I watched it trying to stop it, trying to fly it back. I was like, no! It just kept going further and further away until it lost communication with the remote and it just dropped from the sky somewhere in the neighborhood. I ended up finding it eventually by scouting around and looking at everybody's yards, but it was most definitely broken. Thankfully, in Bomber Drone VR, you play with an entirely virtual drone that you only play inside your space. The controls are pretty straightforward, and though it does take a bit of getting used to, it's definitely a ton of fun as you buzz around your place blasting the enemy missile launchers and turrets. One of the coolest features of this game is the first-person camera used in the controller in your hand. After you've fully mapped out your play space, it uses that 3D constructed space on the small virtual camera to help you with your aim as you fly around. This is definitely the first time I've seen this used, and it really adds to the novelty factor of the mixed reality. Bomber Drone VR is one of the most innovative and cool uses of mixed reality so far. All the games in today's video are listed in the description below, and if you click through and buy the games through those affiliate links, you will support Gameless Plus directly without any additional cost to you. Next up at number 5, Squingle. Squingle is a bizarre and psychedelic experience that is hard to fully describe, even with the visuals to show it off. It's such a fun and bizarre game that is actually quite challenging as well as unique. In Squingle, you guide orbs of light through beautiful, shiny, see-through, multicolored mazes that kind of have to be experienced on the Quest 3 to do them justice. Beyond being visually stunning, it's actually a very challenging game as you maneuver your way through each of the 100 mazes. I was lucky enough to be in contact directly with the game's developer, Benjamin Outram. He revealed to me that he is excited about a major update that's going to be released for the game in July. He said that this update would be profound. I asked him if it would be an entirely new game, and he replied that it will be included if you already own a copy of the game, which you can get right now. This is really one of those games that's flown under the radar and is truly a gem. I'm really excited to see what he has in store for us in July, so go get it now and you will not regret it. Next, at number 4, Cubism. Cubism is a very cool, seemingly simple zen-inducing puzzle game. You're challenged by 90 3D puzzles where you must fit a designated number of Tetris-like pieces into a designated shape. This game really makes use of the Quest 3's hand tracking feature brilliantly, making you feel like you really are grabbing and moving the 3D pieces around as they float in front of you. I really love to kick back with a cup of coffee and just puzzle away. Some of these puzzles are pretty easy, and then there are a few I just could not wrap my mind around at first. I realized sometimes I just need to step away from certain puzzles and come back later on. It's like the spatial reasoning section of my brain just needs a solid reset, or maybe it's just too much coffee. In any case, it's extremely satisfying when you come back to a puzzle you tried before and are able to finally complete it. It really does feel like you're exercising an entirely different part of your brain that maybe just needs more exercise in general. If you like puzzles and you have a Quest 3, this really is a must play. Next, at number 3, Demeo. Not every game on this list was designed for mixed reality, but some of them just truly feel right when played in it. Some games are made for VR, but are just amazing examples of rare and excellent multiplayer experiences beyond their VR aspects. Demeo and Demeo Battles are all those things plus much more. Demeo, the base game, is an excellent cooperative tabletop turn-based RPG with multiple maps and settings with a surprisingly layered gaming system. More recently, Demeo Battles was released, and it's a 2-on-2 or 1-on-1 take on the original Demeo Battle system with more maps and a whole new single-player campaign all on its own. The popularity of Baldur's Gate 3 in 2023 has definitely helped fuel interest in the turn-based RPG. I've been playing Demeo since my Quest 2 a couple years ago, and I fell in love with it then, and it's only gotten better. Demeo and Demeo Battles are both absolutely worth your time and money. Not only are these games incredible to play in mixed reality on the Quest 3, but they are both honestly a couple of the very best games you can play on any VR platform. Coming in at number 2, Demeter. There are a handful of great platforming games out there in VR, but none were built from the ground up for mixed reality like Demeter. I wasn't really sure how this game would be integrated into mixed reality, or if it would really be worth it. But I can tell you that Demeter does not disappoint. Instead of sitting on your couch or standing in one place, you really have to move around within your unique living space to guide our pint-sized hero Atalanta from island to island collecting crystals and fighting enemies. Beyond the innovative gameplay, this game is packed with great visuals, energetic comical performances, and an interesting storyline. I will admit, as cool as the full freedom of movement is within this game, sometimes I really did need to use the accessibility feature of pressing the Y button to bring the play space to a more accessible angle. At first I felt annoyed by this, but as I progressed past the first chapter, I was just thankful for it as an added feature and didn't have to move the islands around all that much. The placement on the different map pieces is procedurally generated, so the experience will be a little different for everyone based on your room layout and furniture. The level design is quite ingenious, with many of the sections involving you as the pilot making certain parts of the level appear while keeping other ones invisible, all while using Adelanta's powers in conjunction with yours. It's innovative, creative, and well worth the low price point for an experience that's this complete. If you really want to try out one of the absolute best mixed reality gaming experiences out there, Demeter is the game for you. And finally, at number 1, Lego Bricktales. Legos, Legos, Legos. When I was a kid, Legos were my absolute favorite toy for many, many years. Every Christmas, that was my big Christmas gift I'd always ask for, an awesome new Lego set. I had a pirate ship, a space station, a giant robot, an underwater research laboratory, and a huge red bucket full of random Legos that I would just build to my heart's content. I would even make stop-motion Lego videos with my family video camera. Needless to say, I really did love Legos with a passion. Eventually, I did give them away after they sat there in my room and I moved out as a teenager. Now, here in 2024, here I am playing with Legos again in Lego Bricktales. Now, I know this game is pretty much on everybody's list of the best mixed reality games, but it just simply deserves to be on top. It's truly fantastic. Beyond simply being incredibly nostalgic, sitting there playing with Legos, it's really a lot of fun. The gameplay is really quite simplistic, but it's really about having those Lego dioramas right in front of you and building and adding to them with your own creations. It's just so much fun to incorporate your creativity into these already awesome looking Lego landscapes. This game really did have to land on the top of the list because it truly is the best iteration of mixed reality on the Quest 3, and it will probably remain that way for quite some time. The way that the graphics make the Lego bricks look so close to real make the experience downright magical. After you've built a specific section and completed the goal that was set for that little bit, you can always go back and redesign and add to what you've already created, giving you lots of creativity options. Rather than just go on and on about how much I highly recommend Lego Bricktales, whether you loved Legos as a kid or not, this is the perfect example of showing off what the Quest 3 can do, and it is an essential title to add to your library. That is it for the top 10, but I do have some honorable mentions that just didn't quite fit on the list. First, Angry Birds Isle of Pigs. I used to play the original Angry Birds back in the day, and it has the same kind of gameplay, but in full 3D and in your living room, which is really great. You can play with hand tracking, which seems really great at the beginning, but honestly, the accuracy and control is much better when using the controllers in this one. Largely for the fact that if you're not satisfied after your first bird, you can restart the level very quickly using the controller. And I know that that is a factor that I always used in the mobile version, because I just wanted to get the highest score possible. Another one that I need to mention is the incredibly fun Vegas Infinite, a game that I have featured many times on the lists in the past because it is 100% free and allows you to play poker in VR. I practically stopped playing it for the most part because I would usually play it on my PC instead of the Quest 2, and now that the pass-through works on the Quest 3, it has pulled me right back into enjoying live poker games with many people who I've played with for a long time. There are all kinds of options for you to play Vegas Infinite, and once you're at the table, you can switch to the pass-through and host the game right there in your living room. And finally, I just want to mention a great little experiment that Niantic, the company behind Pokemon Go, has created for Quest 3, a cute little virtual pet simulator called Hello Dot. Now, this honestly isn't much of a game, but it does give us a nice little glimpse of what the future holds from the creator of Pokemon Go, which found massive success from that game. I'm actually quite anxious to see what they're cooking up for us in the near future. So there you have it, 10 must-try mixed reality games plus some bonuses. There is an ever-expanding list of games that are gaining mixed reality pass-through options, as well as a lot of games in development that will push the envelope of mixed reality itself. This list is definitely going to change dramatically as mixed reality gaming becomes a much more common thing. Technology is moving along very quickly, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. At first, mixed reality was very much just a gimmick on the Quest 3, and now it's becoming a full-fledged integrated part of the Quest 3 experience. I think largely because it's definitely helping take away the possibility of getting sick altogether. You can see your surroundings as you play. I really think mixed reality is what's going to pull a lot more people into the virtual reality space, almost like a gateway drug. But that's just what I think. What do you think? There are so many games out there that have pass-through now. What is your favorite that you've tried? Which game did I not mention that you feel like should have been put on this list? Do you think mixed reality is really the wave of the future, or is it just a passing fad like 3D movies? Let's talk about it in the comments below. And if you'd like to support Gameless Plus directly, you can click the Super Thanks button down below. Now that you've taken a look at all these great games, why don't you take a look at my list of the 10 must-try Quest 3 non-gaming experiences. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to all my plussers who subscribe to my videos. I will see you next time on GameList Plus.
I could never have imagined the unique creativity of my people.